Okay, so recently I just did a full video about this wiring loom for my HJ47. It was a massive long video where I went through, I replaced broken plugs, broken cables, things that were not supposed to be, and all sorts of stuff like that. One thing I didn't do in that video that I said I would do in another video was this glass fuse block. Now this is probably arguably the most important thing and the most common thing that would be upgraded or changed when you have a wiring loom out like this. So that is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be replacing it with this. This is the Narva 12-way fuse block. Obviously it accepts your standard blade fuses and it all comes pre-wired. You can buy this from Mr. Landcruiser or pretty much any store. I'll put the link and the specific Narva model code for that. The reason you get this one is because it has the same mounting holes as the standard fuse box. So this will mount straight up. You don't need to make any new mounts or anything like that. Another awesome thing about this, obviously, aside from the fact that you'll have proper fuses that you can more readily buy if you're stranded somewhere and also have a much better connection, is that you have now 12 fuse spots instead of 8 in the factory one, which is going to be useful for things like gauges, UHF, heads-up display, things like that. And I'll go through that in this video. I will say straight off the bat, this isn't a how-to guide. I'm not an auto electrician. I've actually never done one of these before, but it's an integral part of this build. So I do have to document it because I'm documenting every part of this build. So this is a pretty major part. So you can watch me put it in, but don't copy anything I do. And also, I obviously have the loom out of the car when doing this, but it's not going to really be any different to if you had it still in the car. It's just going to be just a lot more awkward to cut all of these wires up and crimp them down. But that being said, let's get into starting this off, I guess. So I'll start you off with a little bit of info on how these fuse blocks work. Very, very simple. So you have on the back of this fuse block, this is the factory one, 3 different inputs, and then you have your 8 outputs. So these 3 different inputs are battery, accessories, and ignition. So you have your white with your blue wire here, that comes straight from the battery. It's the same wire that goes up to your key barrel. You have accessories and ignition. They both come from your key barrel here. They're from this green plug. They come down and do the feeds here. So you have 3 for battery, 2 for accessories, 3 for ignition. So it's not sort of like an individual feed to each one. It's just, you know, you've got your battery and then these 3 are fed off that one cable there, which is very, very easy, very simple design. But there's one problem that you have with this Narva fuse block is it only has 2 feeds in it. So you have your 12 little colored wires that come out, that's good. But as you can see, you only have 2 of your feed wires that go into the back there. So that's going to be the main modification that we have to make here, is making this a 3 feed, and obviously super easy to just use these cables to connect to our old ones. And there was 2 ways of doing this. I could have got 2 fuse boxes. I could have had one that would have been battery and ignition, because I'm sure I could find more stuff to put on there, and then had another one. Would have been a lot of fuses, would have been a lot of unused fuses. Would have had to have then, the difficulty would have been making up a specific bracket inside the cab to hold 2 of them, because you can't just put them side by side and you can't fold them back and you can't put them there because there's not a lot of space under there. But I am going to modify it so it's just a 3 feed instead of a 2 feed. Anyway, I'm going to get on to doing that now. Let me run you through what I did here. What I have had to do is remove this lot of holders. So as you can see in the back here, we have our feed wire that goes in, and each one of these feed wires holds 6, and they're sort of just like each individual loops that are held on, kind of like a bus bar. So I've removed this set here. It's sort of just tabs. You have to get a bunch of screwdrivers, push them in the back and pull the little pin out, kind of like any other plug that you have to deep in. So now what I'm going to do is, if you can see here, there's these top 3, and then the 3rd one down, you have 1 feed wire, then you have these next 3. So I'm going to split these and I'm gonna put a feed wire in the middle one of these three here, and then split these and disconnect them. It's much like how these two are disconnected. Undo the crimps here, put my own feed wire in. Ooh, and so this is important. What I'm gonna be doing is, I figured this out, so I'm going to be doing 3 for battery, 3 for ignition, which is the exact same as how it was. And then I'm gonna be having 6 for accessories. So that is so I can just have these cables out here so I can add anything that I want for accessories. Just chuck a fuse in and I can have anything I want. Which is awesome. That's actually gonna be so good. I've never had that in a four-wheel drive before. I've always had to like cut into wires. It's kind of like if you ever had an 80 series before, under the bonnet, there's a little power output, little box that has 3 fuses in it for battery, ignition, and accessories. And you sort of tap into those and run it out. This is just an easier version of that. So I can run UHF, new radio, which already has a fuse for the radio, so that's not going to change, but heads-up display, I don't know, a dash cam, even like a reverse camera, gauges, all sorts of stuff. And accessories is usually the best spot to have that, which is cool. So I'm going to cut this up and then put it back in, which is going to be cool. Oh. I was thinking about putting a bit of a liquid electrical tape around the side. There's actually a huge gap, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. I was going to do this middle one, but I realized getting the crimpers in the middle would be quite difficult, so I'm doing it on this outer one. So for our feed wire for this, I'm just going to cut off the end of this one because I'm not going to need this full length. So I'm going to halve it somewhere around there. Got my crimp on, just same as the other one, cut it to the same length, crimp the top and then crimp the bottom in, so that'll be staying in there. So now I've got to get these back in to the housing here. I've got to make sure these pins are bent back up again, because obviously when you pull these out, you got to bend the pins down a bit. You probably see them there, they're bent up. So, okay, they're all seated back in there properly. We now have our 2 feeds, are all good. So now, I guess I've got to do the feeds and our outputs. This is the easy part. I'll show you there the gap between the two there. That's the factory gap, and that's the gap we got there, so no need to worry about those bridging or anything. Very good. Now I've got to sort these lengths out, start chopping, start crimping. So how I'm doing this is because some of my wires here are damaged and have been messed with. Like this one here, it's got like a soldered connection further up. So I'm gonna have to leave more length on that wire alone. So for all of the ones that aren't damaged, I'm gonna cut them the same length as our feed wires. And then for these other ones, I'm just gonna do them sort of the same and then just join them up as I go. I'm starting with the ones from the original fuse box. So I'm starting from the bottom and going to the top. And then I've got a little thing on my notes app here that lays out how everything is. So the feeds are gonna be on the right. I've put some white dots on the top. Then I've got the top 3 are battery. The next 3 are ignition, bottom 6 are accessories. I've got them numbered, and then I've got 1 down to 12. So the first one we're going to do is our turn and wiper 20 amp fuse. Join that up and then do them each individually so that I don't get any mixed up. So the fuse box is in the car, looking nice. I just put some fuses in there. They're actually random fuses, they're not the right ones. I do have the right ones written down, still the same as the old original glass fuses. But as you can see, it has the exact same mounting brackets as the original glass fuse holder. That's why this is so good. Really the hardest part I had to do was pulling that old bit out, putting it back in again so it had it as a 3-feed. But that is a really nice upgrade that I've done to the car, especially also a lot of those wires needed to be fixed anyway. A lot of them were split. I now know that there's definitely good connections and the wiring is much more stable than what it was. So that was a short little video, but that is the new fuse box in the car. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one.